Hello, welcome to the Lunch and Chat with Leslie show. I'm your host, Leslie Parker. Happy New Year to you. It has been a great start. I don't know about you, but I've claimed it and I've made up my mind that it is 2021. God brought us through 2020, and now we are here at 2021. So I just wanted to at least tell you that I'm really appreciative, first of all, for you supporting me throughout the year. This is my first broadcast for January 2021, and I'm oh so grateful and thankful that I'm here to continue on this mission for you. The Lunch and Chat with Leslie show is for my viewers, but believe it or not, it's also for me. It gives me an opportunity to take a look at some things about myself that I might want to change. You know, I've had different topics, different people that came on the show, and I tell you, those topics have educated me, and I hope that I've also educated you with that information. I have a mission today that I wanted to talk to you about, and it's about how you need to think about making your New Year's resolution stick. It's not the typical way of doing New Year's resolution. You might think, well, okay, I'm gonna write a list down, and I'm just gonna try my best to do this. Maybe I want to lose some weight, and that is a pretty good goal. Or maybe I just want to get a new job. Whatever it is, there are different reasons, and everyone has a different New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution, believe it or not, is to just stay healthy, be positive, and make a huge impact. And all those things will come together. No, it's not monetarily, but I already know that the money is coming. So I'm not worried about that. So my focus is not on the money, but it is on the prize. And again, I always say to God be the glory. I give him the honor and the glory for me being here. I'm telling you, this is just really a big dream of mine. I've always wanted to do a talk show, and God now has given me the opportunity to do this talk show for you. So without holding you up too much longer, I wanted to talk to you about ways that we can just make a change with ourselves initially, because it all starts with you. If you expect change to happen, you have to implement that change. And change, this is, I'm like an acronym person. I love figuring out words and how I can make it seem like it really is different. So change, I said, is a way of creating habits and new growth engagements. Isn't that great? I thought that was pretty sharp. Create habits and new growth engagements. When you create habits of change, you will eventually get to that destination or things that you hope to aspire to have for yourself. And new growth engagements. I mean, if you've been doing the same thing over and over again, and nothing has happened differently, the same results, so you see the same thing, you do the same things and you get the same results, then you're not making a conscientious opportunity to create change in your life. So what I did for the show is that I did do some research just to talk to you about ways of making a great, huge impact and change. According to Harvard Health Publishing Medical Company, they mentioned that there are 7 steps to making your New Year's resolution stick. Dream big. So you have the audacious goals of dreaming big. Break big dreams into small portions. You know how sometimes if you have a big dream, that's fine, but still break it down to figure out how you want to get there and what do you need to do to get there. Also, commit yourself. Be committed to yourself. If you're committed to everybody else but yourself, how are you able to make those changes that you like to make for your life? And give yourself a medal. It's like give yourself a pat on the back. Say to yourself, and it's not being arrogant or conceited, say, you know what? This is what I like about myself. These are the things that I really enjoy. And how can I make a huge impact with other people by the change that I decided to implement in my life? Learn from your past. Instead of saying learn from your mistakes or your failures, even though we all have them, but learn from your past. What did I do that prevented me from getting from point A to point B? So kind of reevaluate and see what's going on in that aspect. And also give thanks for what you do. Give thanks for, whatever you're doing right now in your life, for other people, and for people that are doing things for you. Just give thanks back to them. Now, I had a list of things that, maybe people, if you notice on the video, I showed you things that you can maybe want to aspire or have a resolution. Say, maybe I want to get a new house. I want a new job. I want to change some eating habits. I want to become a better saver. I want to start a business. I want to do a lifestyle change. I want to become a better you. That's what I want to tell you. Become a better you. All these goals are just some goals that I've written down for myself. But, think about what you want to do for yourself. If you don't see it on the walls, like, have you heard of like a vision board? I've always believed in having a vision board because if you put it away, you may have it here, but when you put it on the wall or in front of you, you're able to really make some steps towards doing some things. So it's being proactive and putting things in motion. And also, I mentioned in the beginning that people, they don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And some things that we have control of, we really can control things a little bit better if you think about it in our life. If we really, now things that we can't control, of course, it's out of our control. We can't do anything about it. But those things that you can change, I just want to encourage you to do those things. Make a habit of writing down every morning. Whatever you had written down, whatever the day before, do a check mark and say completed, or I plan on doing this. It's like having a milestone chart to say that, hey, I want to, if it's losing weight, you don't have to be an expert. I don't believe that you have to spend a whole lot of money to lose weight. We just have to incorporate change in our life. So you know what you used to do. If you were active, we just have to get back to being active again. If you notice you ate a lot of fried chicken, a lot of French fries or whatever, you might have to check that thing off your list and just do something different. So I want to take you to the meat and potatoes of this program. When I tell you that the information that I'm getting ready to share with you is very good, it is great. And I got some of the information, like I said initially, it was from the Harvard Health Publishing. And then I'm going to take you into another influencer named Stephen Covey, very good at talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people. So, dream big. What he says about dreaming big, this is the Harvard Health Publishing, Harvard Medical School. Dream goals are compelling, and we want to compete in a marathon or a triathlon, right? Triathlon. Sorry about that. We might want to lose pounds just enough to fit into those clothes, but you have to really take things for what it is. If you're dreaming big, you need to set up goals and plans for yourself to reach those big goal measures. Then he says to break down those dreams into the small steps, as I mentioned to you. Not that you're thinking tiny, but you've got to look at it like I always say an elephant, when they eat their food, how do they eat their food? They take one bite at a time. So if you're trying, for example, you're trying to buy a house, you may say, maybe it may not be that $1 million house. Maybe it might be your first house. It doesn't matter how much it costs. The main thing is that you want a house. So you need to find out the steps involved to buying that house. If you want to get a new job, you need to figure out, well, what do I need to do to improve my career, my goals? What do I need to really step up on? Maybe I need to be a better communicator, a better writer. Well, take some classes to help you in that area. You want to become a better saver? Why don't you reach out, find someone that's good at maybe at banking or financial planning to help you through it. We don't know it all, although that we think we do. Sometimes I think I know it all, and I know that I don't. I would love to know everything. I tell you, knowledge is powerful, but it's powerful when you share it, and it's powerful when you're able to really allow it to just really stick with you, and you can share that information with other people. And it might be you might want to start a business. Now, starting a business is not as hard as you think. It's really making up your mind what it is that you like to do. So if you have a craft or you have a gift that you know that you can do, maybe you can sew, you might know how to do cooking or typing, whatever it is that you like to do. You might want to even open up an IT company. Hey, that's dreaming big. It's not hard to really think about it. Just have to do a little bit more research in that area. And of course, do a lifestyle change. I feel like, we all at this point, we've had so much stuff on us. And I felt like we have been living in a bubble in 2020. It was like we couldn't get out the way we wanted to, and we couldn't have people come to us the way we wanted to have them come to us. But stop thinking that you're in a bubble. We're out of that bubble now. 2021 is the new year. I call it, it's the renewing of our year. So let's make a habit of being proactive and putting the past and those things behind us. And let's look forward. You can't look forward if you're always leaning back. When you're leaning to the left, how are you going to lean to the right? Maybe you need to lean to the right more. Leaning to the left, you can't really eyeball and see the things that God may already have for you to see. But we're so busy sitting back, leaning back, and not focusing on those things that are good for us. So I talked to you about putting your dreams into smaller steps. Then we need to learn how to understand why change is important. Just take a look at everything that you can think of individually in your life that you might want to section off. What is it that you need to change? So to make it effective, you have to enjoy sometimes just taking a break. Taking a say, well, you know what? I know that I smoke and I would like to stop smoking. Then guess what? Take a break from it one day at a time. Maybe you overeat. You're indulging in too many things. I need to take a break and just really relax and eyeball stuff. And I told you about giving yourself a medal. Oh yeah, it's important. Give yourself a medal. Don't wait for anybody else to give you a medal. Okay. I used to say that, man, it would be nice if even like on the job, for example, it would be nice if my supervisor, recognized me more or whatever. But you know your worth and you know what you're able to do. So don't wait on people to give you that medal. All right. Learn from your past. As I mentioned to you, your past is actually there to help you direct you to your future, and give thanks for all you do. Now, the meat and potatoes part I want to talk to you about is those 7 habits that will help you stick to your New Year's resolution. The first one that I want to talk to you about, and this comes from Stephen Covey. So pardon me 1 second. We need to be proactive. Proactive meaning how we view ourselves. Be more independent and don't depend on other people to make you happy. Don't depend on other people to design your life for you. You know what it is. And people may say, well, I don't know. I don't have that connection. Well, if you don't have that connection with God, then I advise you to have that connection with God. He will guide you and direct you to those steps. So order my steps. So give God, give him the wheel. And choose how to be responsive. Be responsible for our actions. Even if it's a mistake that we've made, be a little bit proactive in admitting that, hey, I did make a mistake, but I'm getting ready to correct that mistake. So those things are being proactive instead of being reactive. Focus on your circle of influence. Work at the things that you can change. And that's just basically having that positive energy in place. All right. Number 2, I want to talk to you about that's another highly effective habit by Stephen Covey. He said, begin with the end in mind. So how do you want things to turn out for yourself? So look at what the end is, what you hope for in the future. So look at that and say, what do I need to do to get there? I'm here right now, but I would like for my end to turn out a certain way. So it's just, again, it requires planning, being visual, having an imagination, because God put that in each and every one of us. We have the gift to imagine, to dream, and to think. So again, it's also about identifying other areas in your life, like busyness. I'm a busy person. I'm not going to lie to you by nature. And sometimes I have to slow down. But even throughout your busyness, you have to find out what really matters. After all the other things that I'm doing, what is the most central thing that matters, that will make things better, that will make a change? Start with a clear destination. Know what you are doing, where you're going, where you would like to go. And again, it's, basically self-awareness. Number 3, And I'm summarizing some of these points. Some of these things are from my words and they're from Stephen Covey. But I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it for you. Number 3, you need to put first things first. That means prioritize your day. And that is one of the things that I had a hard time doing, is putting what my priorities are, whether it is for work, whether it's for entertainment, relaxation, my family, whatever it is. But learning how to prioritize your day will help you, again, with your New Year's resolutions, okay? So the things in your life, and that's besides the bills. We're so used to, oh, I got to pay gas and electric. I got to pay the telephone. T-Mobile is there. We've gotten to the point where we allow our bills and the things that have controlled us, which is money, unfortunately, get the best of us. So try to prioritize and put first things first. So to accomplish your goals, you have to do things that you don't want to do sometimes. You say, I know I have to do this, but I don't feel like doing it. When you're able to do the things that you don't feel like doing, you'd be surprised how you start putting that action and it's more value. You're adding more value to what you're doing. A challenge is not about how many promotions or how many accolades or anything like that you have, but managing your time is just as important. We have to learn how to manage our time, but even more than that, we have to manage ourselves. Learn to manage that. And you can find this information on blog.hubspot.com. The next thing I want to talk to you about is think win-win. Now, this one's good. When you think win-win, you're not just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about others too. It's kind of, it's more, I can say, it's more consideration and more courage. So this to me is a collaboration at the point where you like to collaborate. And, I work in healthcare and that's what we do. We have a lot of collaboration of how we feel like we need to take care of a patient that has been in a hospital so many times, that is sick. What can we do to have a best outcome for that patient? So when you're thinking of anybody else, whether it be your friends, your family, don't think of the winning part where you have to win all the time. It is not about you winning. It's about you and the other person winning and how you guys both have a win-win situation. Isn't that great? That you can win together and not alone. The next thing I want to talk to you about is how to seek first to understand and then be understood. Now, this one, believe it or not, is about active listening. And I am really working hard on this to be more of an active listener, because we all want to be understood. We want this person to understand what we're saying. We're busy going on and on and on, but we have to, sometimes we got to seek first to understand where they're coming from, understand their perspective in life. So when you're able to do all that, you're shifting the focus. You're becoming a better, that's the change that's coming about. You are becoming a better you. So before we even prescribe a solution, we have to diagnose the problem. That's what I feel. Now, 2 more things I'm going to talk to you about, and then I'm done. Synergize. Oh, I love this one. I always use this term so many times that what things, it is about collaboration too, but that synergy, when you put stuff together, it's like fireworks, sparks, or whatever. So by understanding another person's, I mentioned to you, their perspective, we use the opportunity to create synergy. For example, Stephen Covey said, when you plant 2 plants together, what you're doing is you're allowing the roots to commingle. You're creating quality soil. And that's the same way in our lives, is that we can create a quality relationships with one another by commingling and getting our ideas and our perspectives and being understood, not just for us to be understood, but to understand what their perspective is as well. And what happens, both plants will grow better. And if you're wondering, well, why isn't growth happening? Why isn't change happening? Because we have not incorporated synergy in our lives. And the last thing that I want to talk to you about is sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw is just renewing yourself in all areas in your life. That's physically, that's spiritually, that's mentally, and that's socially. It is really about renewal. Now, I'm going to talk to you about renewing yourself physically. Renewing ourselves physically, yes, to be stronger, to be healthier, and to to feel good, just to feel good about ourselves. Because I believe, I don't care how many resolutions you make as far as those materialistic things, if you don't feel good spiritually, physically, emotionally, and socially, how are you able to be different? How are you incorporating change? As I mentioned to you before, change is creating habits and new growth engagements. So the physical part is very important, but the spiritual part is extremely important. I'm not going to preach to you or talk about how important it is, but when you are spiritually well, they say all is well in my soul. When you feel good inside, that spiritual connection comes out physically. It comes out psychologically. It comes out socially, and people can see it in you. So if your attitude, take a temperature, you say, I want to take my temperature. Take an attitude temperature and see where you are with yourself spiritually. If you have some hangups, if you have a nasty attitude, it's not going to take you far in life. I don't care how many resolutions you have. Sure, you may have the immediate gratification, but it's not going to last long. So starting with you is very important. Renewing yourself physically, spiritually, and mentally. Mentally is really expanding your mind, having a clear and better mindset. Our mindsets sometimes is based on our circumstances at that time. But remember, circumstances are just temporary, just like a storm. It's just temporary. When it rains and when storming outside, it's going to go away and the sun will be out again. So don't, again, allow your mindset to get so bad where you can't move. And socially, if you have a hard time communicating with people, this may be your year to change. Because when you communicate with others and have a great relationship with other people and network with a lot of people, I'm not saying just network with anybody. Make sure, do that check, make sure they got a great attitude, because no need in you communicating with them or having a close relationship with them if they don't want to have a close relationship with you. The good part about it is that if you're spiritually connected, you already have a great relationship. I don't care what anybody else says. When your spiritually connection is flowing, everything else will grow and you will prosper. So I hope that you really enjoyed this segment. It was about having positive change and impact in your life for 2021. And this is my first broadcast, and I felt like I wanted to come strong with that. 2 weeks from now, I will have a special guest who will talk about some other health benefits, and I will even get in more aspects of these things I talked to you about spiritually, mentally, and socially. But for right now, I am happy to have a part in, I call it God's world, to make a huge impact on your life. So I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. Oh, and before I go, I do have something that I have here to share with you. If you give me a minute, and you can take this information. This is a quote that I got. All right, come on. My mouse is acting really weird here. Okay, there we go. All right. Wow. All right, I'm not going to be able to share it with you now because my mouth is acting crazy. Oh my God, I gotta put my girl out here. Happy New Year, Nicole. It is such a pleasure to hear from you. You know, we got to get together soon. Thank you so much for coming on the broadcast. I appreciate your support. If you don't learn from your past, most likely you'll end up repeating it. That is so true. We do the same thing over and over and over again. And it is time, 2021. Don't wait another week. Don't wait another month. Get to it right away. All right, we have Marsha. Oh, thank you, Marsha. I appreciate it. God, she's so wonderful. I tell you, God is good. So guess what, everyone? I really want to thank you for tuning in to this broadcast. It was, before I even go, let me just tell you, I have to share this testimony with you because God told me to speak about it. Earlier today, when I was at work, one young lady had just started and she asked me if she could, she got a new computer. She said, Leslie, can I use your mouse until tomorrow? I didn't have a mouse. I mean, that was my only mouse. I didn't have another mouse. So I said, oh gosh, I hemmed and hawed. And God told me, share, give it to her anyway. And meanwhile, I'm like, well, how am I going to get another mouse? Granted, I thought I had another mouse. I had another way of getting one. I didn't get another mouse until 5 minutes before the broadcast. Woo! To God be the glory. But I got it later on, even though it's kind of acting kind of funky on me, but it's okay. And then, not only that, there were some other things that happened, but I am equipped and I'm ready. And I got my 7 habits, like Stephen Covey said, to make myself highly effective. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Create those habits that will make you highly effective for 2021, even if you got to do the first habit for this month and then the next month. You can't do it all in one day because Rome wasn't built in a day. So I love you. I thank you. And I look forward to talking to you next week. You have a great evening. God bless you.